OnePlus is on a generational run. After over a decade of making unique, crazy fast, game-changing smartphones, the last three have been some of the best that you can buy, not just for a OnePlus, but put them against any of the appropriate competing Pixel, iPhone or Galaxy Ultras, and it's uncanny how many times the OnePlus comes out on top. The dust has finally settled on the OnePlus 15's iffy launch, and I want to talk about that situation because it's actually kind of insane. I'd really appreciate it if you could hit subscribe. It means more access for me, which means better content for you, for free. Cheers guys. So the company really started to kick into gear with the OnePlus 11, where the cameras started to improve, the battery life was really good at this point, and there was a crazy set of charging specs. And I liked the design and screen to go with as well. Maybe the 12 though felt like a facelift on the surface, but with a few more upgrades under that bonnet. So the camera sensors improved, the battery jumped up a few hundred milliamp hours, and this was for me where the whole thing just went turbo, because I received my review unit and immediately went, hang on a minute, these cameras might be better than the Pixels. And that's when I realised that OnePlus had built something truly special with the OnePlus 12. I'll never get rid of my unit, I think it's the best thing ever. At the time, the jury was kind of out on the 12 because some people recognised its greatness and others seemingly overlooked its serious improvements for the previous year's device. So the 100-watt charger in the box was massive, the alert slider was mega handy, the speed, the battery life were so clearly at the top of the charts, particularly in longevity. And crucially, it was also available in North America. It's all well and good pointing at Xiaomi Ultras, the Oppos, the Vivos and so on, but they aren't readily available in the US, and some aren't even officially available outside of China. But OnePlus saw the good reception that the 12 received and seemed to go absolutely ham, egg and cheese with the 13. I stand by the fact the 12 was the best. I think for me it definitely is the best, but also as a camera guy that kind of makes sense. The 13 downgraded the camera ever so slightly, and I really do mean kind of slightly, but countered it with a flatter screen. The curved one before it had been a real sore point for a lot of people. OnePlus also beefed up the already excellent battery to a 6,000 mAh setup, which was basically unheard of in a mainstream smartphone available in the West, and that gave it a 2-day battery life with no dramas whatsoever. This was possible thanks to a silicon carbon battery technology that enables more battery density so you can have more capacity in the same amount of space. Unfortunately, no charger in the box for the 13 in many regions was a real shame, but the design had also been somewhat toned down, which I think made more people appreciate the OnePlus. The Snapdragon 8 Elite was a considerable step up from the 8 Gen 3 that came before it, but between that larger battery, really good cameras still, and the impressively competitive pricing compared to the iPhone, the Galaxy and the Pixel of that given year, the 13 stood out as an incredible option that could offer not only just great raw specs and raw performance, but very good value for money at the same time. People absolutely adored the OnePlus 13. Even some mainstream outlets that would have probably dismissed OnePlus phones in the past went and said that the 13 was maybe phone of the year. Then the 15 rocks up, this time a little early, the same year as the 13 technically in many regions, and it leans hard in one particular direction. So the OnePlus 15 gets in just after the latest Pixel and the iPhones drop, but just before the next Galaxy Ultra as well. It offers a substantial upgrade to an already stout performance setup, improved screen with an ace up its sleeve in the 165Hz boost mode that's available in certain games, and a battery and charging setup that just absolutely wipes the floor with its competition. 7,300 mAh up from 6,000. That makes the OnePlus 15's battery over 50% larger than the iPhone 17 Pro Max's, and just under 50% larger than what you'd find in the Galaxy S25 Ultra. This battery is colossal, one that's capable of offering 3 days of battery life depending on what you use your phone for. This thing is absolutely astonishing, and thanks to the 120-watt charging tech, it also tops up from 0 to 100 in less than an hour. For a 7,300 mAh battery, that is staggering. The performance, absolutely crazy. The screen, very good as well. I think what surprised a lot of us this year is what OnePlus decided to do with the build and the design. So the phone is clearly meant to be more enticing for people who just would never ever touch a OnePlus with a big dinner plate on the back as a camera bump. But it also feels really robust, solid, it just feels great in the hand. Better than Apple and Samsung, maybe even better than Google's Pro Pixels in its fit and finish. The back texture is also very grippy. Many matte backs end up being quite slippery in nature, but not this one. This one feels fantastic. Perhaps the biggest stumbling block is that the camera hardware has been downgraded year on year since the mighty 12, and the alert slider is now gone. It's now goddamn action button. Okay, OnePlus key, but you know what I mean. Two changes that I must admit really frustrate me, but also changes that I don't think most people will really care about in the long term, because the package overall is so good, particularly when you compare it to, what we've had from the big three in the West over the last few years. If you don't know what I'm talking about regarding the cameras, not only is OnePlus's Hasselblad partnership now over, so there's no involvement with the camera color processing from them, but also the sensors have been physically downgraded across the board. So we're being given cheaper cameras inside a phone that basically costs the same or is a newer version. It doesn't quite feel right to me from a consumer standpoint. The outcome generally will be that people will not have a major problem with these cameras, specifically as OnePlus customers tend to not care as much about them. It was just nice to have good cameras in there. But just being sold cheaper stuff for the same money is very dystopian. Maybe I need to stop talking about the real world now because it just doesn't make me feel very good. Regardless, in this 3-ish year run, you'd have expected the likes of Samsung, Google and Apple to respond or react to the insane leapfrog in battery tech and maybe even the camera performance that OnePlus has been offering. But no, Samsung's Galaxy Ultra has remained very samey for the last few years, and the iPhone is very much a similar story. Sure, it looks a bit different now with an orange colour and a dumb camera bump on the back, but generally it hasn't changed massively for a few years. The Pixel, ironically given its obvious deficiencies, is perhaps the most improved of the three here. That comes largely down to a bit of a battery bump and some major software upgrades, particularly in its camera zoom. But despite that, none of them have increased sensor size majorly, none have come anywhere near close to the charging speeds, none have employed silicon carbon batteries, and they've all remained more expensive than the OnePlus flagship for that particular year. So where will all of this end up? Surely at some point the competition has to rise to the occasion, at least attempt to get close to what OnePlus is doing right now. I don't really see it happening in the near future though. As much as I would love some major hardware innovation in the Galaxy Ultra to break up the monotonous cycle of the same phone each year, the same goes for the iPhone as well, I just don't see it. And I really quite like what Google is doing with the Pixel Pro line at the moment. The 9 was really good, the 10 is great, but that tensor does need a good boost, and when are they going to start using silicon carbon battery tech? OnePlus is on a generational run, making some of the best smartphones you can buy right now, and it makes me wonder what's going to happen with the next one.